What's going on, guys? My name is Jake, and welcome back to Gax Reviews. So we're finally here. The Umbrella Academy Season 2 has dropped on Netflix, and we're going to talk about it right now. But before we get started, I will say that this is a spoiler-free review. So don't worry if you haven't gotten all the way through the season yet. You just want to hear my thoughts. I will not be spoiling anything. There's a lot to talk about that is spoiler-worthy. I'm not going to get into that in this video. I'm going to have a spoiler review coming out later this week. But for now, this is just my spoiler-free thoughts. And before we get started with that, I want you guys in the comment section below, who is your favorite character? Has it changed between Season 1 and Season 2? And what was your favorite moment in Season 2? Let's get started. So the Umbrella Academy Season 2. Five has transported the Hargreaves family to Dallas in the 1960s in order to try to save the world. The only problem is, their family is lost in time and the apocalypse has followed them to Dallas. So I was really hyped for this season because I thought Season 1, while at its core, was a really fun and emotional show that didn't fully know what it wanted to be yet. It had great characters. I really loved seeing these characters and what their powers were and the relationship that they had and the struggle with their father. I loved that, but I felt like there was a lot of tonal inconsistencies and they didn't really know what they wanted to be. However, Season 2 fixes that, and to me is a lot more ambitious. It totally embraces itself, and it has found itself as a show. The Umbrella Academy Season 2 is one of the best sequel seasons I've seen in a long time. And a lot of that comes down to it being fun. And it just knowing what it wants to be. And that sounds so stupid saying it out loud, but it really is. This show, all it needed to do was just fully embrace its wild side. And it has. And it makes it more fun while still having that emotional beat. So let's talk about this. The pacing itself in general has worked a lot better. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of episodes that kind of just feel like they're there for the sake of being there. It fully earns its 10 episode arc. And it didn't feel like 10 episodes. It's one of the easiest binges I've had all year. It was super enjoyable to go through. And I think a lot of that has to do with we've spent more time learning what makes these characters tick. I liked the characters in Season 1, but I think I like them even more now because we get different pairings than we did in Season 1. And it's more of a heightened relationship between the two. And it's less of a conflict on their family through their dad. Well, that's still there, and it's still explored with Hargreaves coming back. And Baby Pogo! I love Baby Pogo. Wish there's a little bit more of him. But whether it's through that and the relationship with Vanya, that all is kind of set aside a little bit and just really spends more time focusing on the interior characters and them trying to figure out themselves. And I think right off the bat, you're thrown straight into this with a phenomenal montage in episode 1, one of my favorite things of the entire season. And you really are whisked into this new world and with these new versions of these characters that you loved from Season 1, but they don't tell you much about them. You're thrown straight into their situations and it asks you to be patient in telling their stories. And I think that was brilliant, and I think they did that so well because each character is really trying to find their own version of happiness. Vanya was a very innocent character in Season 1 and very stuck up, I would say. I didn't love Vanya in Season 1. I thought she was really good in this season. She's got a lot more to do, and trying to find herself in that happiness. As well, Allison, who starts off pretty lost in the season, but finds her way when she eventually meets someone, and they go through the height of a racial movement, which I thought was brilliantly explored. Klaus is a cult leader. Well, what else would you expect for him to do? But he has a lot of internal struggle this show, as well as Ben. And their relationship was really interesting. I think that they took a huge step up from Season 1 at exploring their relationship at a core. And I love the two of them together. I think their relationship is my favorite thing in the show. And it sets up some really emotional beats and some really funny moments. And the two of them together are just great. The portrayals are fantastic. Luther, he's a very broken down person, especially at the way that the Season 1 ended, how he blames a lot of that self on himself. But he eventually starts to find his calling and embraces himself fully and unleashes a goofy side of Luther that we haven't seen yet. And if you hate Luther, you won't hate him after this season. He just becomes the puppy dog of the group. And I love Luther. He's so great. As well, Diego is a huge standout for me in the season. Shockingly, he had a lot more screen time this season, and I think it was really earned. His character goes a little nuts at times. He's very full of conspiracies, and it explores this really fun historical moment in the 1960s. And if you know that era, you probably know what I'm talking about. Don't want to say it yet, just in case you don't know, but they really take that beat and they put these characters around that and build towards it, and it's just such a fun ride, such an emotional ride that really knows what it's doing. And I loved that. As well, the action sequences are great. They were really good in Season 1, but I think they're even better here. Each character kind of has their own action sequence, which was really fun to watch throughout. And I'm not a huge fan of songs in the back, like I've mentioned previously in a lot of my other videos, but I think it works really well here, and it fits that tone that they're trying to go for. The action's really, or not the action, the violence is really, really amped up this season. And there's a couple times where you feel, and it kind of takes you out a little bit, but they have some restraint on it, which I really liked. And it just in general, man, like the more that they focus on these characters and seeing their progression, and not just with their powers, but just themselves on a human level and them exploring their relationship as a family, because it's such an interesting dynamic. It really just heightens the show every single time. And I think that season 2 is leaps and bounds better than season 1. And I'm excited for the future of this show, man. Season 1 had a great ending. Season 2's got a great ending. I just think that this is, sometimes, it takes a season to find itself. And that's exactly what the Umbrella Academy season 2 did. It built off what made season 1 so good, fixed its mistakes, and created such a fun season. And I'm imploring you guys, if you have not checked out the Umbrella Academy, please do. It's well worth your time, especially if you're kind of iffy about that first season. Season 2 really stuck the landing for me, and I think it's one of the most enjoyable things I've seen this year. And I'm going to give it a 90%. Yeah, I want to talk about this a lot more. And it seems like I'm kind of being held back a little bit because I'm purposely doing that, because there's so much to talk about that happens, and I can't say it here in the spoiler-free review. But that's going to be my initial thoughts. If you guys want a spoiler review, that will be coming a little bit later this week, so stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about that wild ending, y'all. That about wraps up for this video. If you guys do enjoy it, I want you guys to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.